Whoa. Looks a little different today. Will's wearing a hat.
That's why. Yeah.
Welcome to the That's Good Broncos and That's Good Sports co-stream Broncos postgame recap. I'm here with Derek Wolfe, known Super Bowl champion from the Denver Broncos, and of course, Will Keys. We're going to break down this Broncos game. This is a great game for you to join us, Derek, because I felt like the Broncos defense dominated tonight. We were talking before the show started, and usually you start to have your best conversations before the show fucking starts. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But you were talking about Brandon Staley, and I want you to kind of answer both parts of this because he was in Denver when you were here. You said you really like Staley, and you were also in this game would have been a little frustrated with him as your head coach. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, look, there's a difference between liking somebody and then being a good coach, right? Like
a good head coach, right? Like,
I mean, there's like a mile between that, right? It's for you to keep going at on fourth down when it's only a 7-point game or even a 10-point game when your defense is playing good football. It makes no fucking sense to me. I don't know why you would do that, but I guess he's just like. He's like stuck in this, like, you know, I remember that interview he did a couple weeks ago and he was like, I'm going to call the plays and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's like, well, it's not working out, bud. So maybe you should make a change because that's what a head coach is supposed to do. They're supposed to do what's best for the team, not what's best for your ego, you know? So I just think it's silly. What were they? One for 5 or something on fourth down?
Yeah.
And that, like, and as a defense, we count those are turnovers. That's a turnover on downs. That is a turnover. Like that's no difference than them fumbling the ball right there on the line of scrimmage. It's the same. So you could have went into half down 10-3 or 10-6. It could have been 10-6 at half.
And it's a different football game. I mean, assuming Justine Herbert doesn't hurt his finger, because that also changes the way you call a game as well. But I think like you miss. So first throw of the game for the Broncos, it's an interception.
I know.
It just kind of rolls out of Marvin Mims' hands. It's just a weird play that fell in the Chargers' favor. And they're at like the 8-yard line or 10-yard line, and they can't score there. So we're all assuming they're going to kick a field goal, settle for 3 points, and they go for the touchdown, which was he open? Was that play open? Well,
it was kind of like a corner route to Everett.
Yeah.
Threw it a little high.
You just threw a little high.
It doesn't matter. You take the 3 points.
You take the 3 points.
It's a free 3 points. And you get the ball to start the half. So, like, it's just silly to think. You have to think of the long term. You can't think of the short-term gains there. You have to assume your defense is going to play good. It's not like they're going against a high-powered offense, right? Like, yeah, they make these big splash plays, the Broncos do, and they run the ball good. But it's like you're not playing against a team that's going to score 30 points a game. You know, you're playing against a team that is
score 22 or 24 points. That's the Broncos offense.
Yeah, that's kind of where they're at. But to me, the biggest thing in that game is what I took from it. What I'm so proud of this team about is that they didn't let that interception. I mean, that was like right at the beginning of the game, right? Boom, big mistake. It wasn't even a mistake. It was just an unfortunate event.
Yeah.
The ball sometimes doesn't fall your way or bounce your way. It falls right into his hands. So to me, what I think they did well was they didn't let that get in their head. They didn't like get down on themselves. It was like, whatever, like, let's go, next play. The defense has done it. What the defense has done this year, they haven't been perfect. And everyone's talking about that Miami game, but like, who cares about that? That's done. That's dead. Yeah. Forget about that. What they've done really well is they might bend, but they don't break. They play unbelievably well in the red zone, which why going for it on fourth down in the red zone doesn't make any sense for me. Against a team that has been excellent in the red zone on defense. Why would you go for it? I don't know. Because you're stubborn and you're stuck in your ways, but at the end of the day, it's good for us. So go ahead and you can be stubborn all you want. But I wanted to ask you: is anybody watching the Bills game? And Chiefs?
I watched the end of that. Yeah.
What happened? What happened? I think the Bills won. Yes.
We're one game behind in the division now.
I know it's insane. It's insane because they control their own destiny right now. The Broncos do. So they can be as – you never know. Look at the – people want to talk like, oh, you have to win all these games to go win a Super Bowl. Look at the teams that have not won a bunch of games and gone and won a Super Bowl. New York Giants twice.
Yes.
Look at the Baltimore Ravens in 2012. I mean, those are two prime examples. So all you have to do is get hot at the right time and get confident at the right time.
Yeah.
You know the other crazy thing, Brandon? I know I'm bouncing around, but something else I wanted to acknowledge. Something I wanted to acknowledge is that look at the roster. The highest pick that we have on the front seven is a second-round pick.
Yeah.
That's the highest pick that's up there. It's not like San Fran where they got those first-rounders scattered around everywhere. No, we have a second-round pick that's the highest draft pick on that front seven. So for them to be playing as well as they are on defense, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's like insane the turnaround this year for the defense. And you're right. Like, okay, so Kansas City's what now? 7-6?
They're 8-5.
8-5. Sorry, there we go. 8-5 right there. I was like, wait, what? Damn, we're still technically out, but we're 7-6. So it is one game back. Now I think mathematically it would have been better for the Bills to lose for the Broncos to get in, assuming the Broncos can't get the 1 seed in the AFC West, and the Chiefs do have a cakewalk from here on out. But that's Brandon Staley thinking, right? Thinking about the numbers. We want Kansas City to lose at all costs. Is the way
at all costs. Anytime,
Patrick,
it's not even the Chiefs that I don't like. It's Mahomes. I just don't like Mahomes. Anytime he loses, I'm happy.
He got pissed.
He threw his helmet at the end of that game. I've never seen him like that.
Yeah, I've never seen him lose his cool. So he was pissed.
He's frustrated that Travis is getting all the attention.
I think he might be onto something.
Ooh. All right, so we're still behind the Texans. So thank you, New York Jets, for winning. The Bengals beat the Colts. That ultimately helps the Broncos. So it is. They do. They control their destiny from here on out.
Every game's a must win at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to win every game. But think about this though. Think about how bright the future is.
Yeah.
I mean, the future's bright. Like there's no question that we have our quarterback, right?
I think you can bank on winning this way with Russ. I think if you're with Russ, I think they got to find they've got to improve Jeudy's spot right now because he had a rough outing.
But here we're talking about Jerry. Hold on, before we move on, Brandon. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep cutting you off on your own show.
Go for it. It's your show now.
You're
the
Jerry
captain now.
I'm the captain now. With Jerry Jeudy, I think he gets he could have made that wide open catch. He could have made that catch.
Yeah.
You know, and he should have had a touchdown and he should have had a big day today. He had 2 opportunities. He had 2 opportunities to make plays and he didn't make them. Right? Yeah. That's not on Russ. Russ put the ball there for him to make a play. He didn't drag his back foot, which is a 4th-year player should not be making that mistake.
Yeah.
Right? And listen, Jerry Jeudy, like as a player and as a person, I love him. Like really do enjoy watching him play and seeing the things he does, but he's missing the opportunities that are presented to him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear any more complaining about how, Russ isn't putting the ball there for him. Russ is only throwing it to Sutton. He's only throwing it to little J Hump, you know, like he's he's not throwing the ball to him. It's the fact that he's not capitalizing on those. Look, Courtland's not getting easy balls. So I don't want to hear, he's only throwing the ball. No, he's just tossing a ball up there and Courtland's making the play.
Yeah.
So when the ball comes your way, Jerry, you got to make the play. He had 2 opportunities to make big plays today and he missed those opportunities.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying they need to upgrade Jerry Jeudy's spot to help Russ. If you're moving forward with Russ, that wide receiver 2 or 1 needs to be more productive. And then
do you think you move Mims into that spot?
I don't know. I want to see more from Mims too because he hasn't gotten his opportunities like Jeudy. Hasn't thrown the ball a ton his way, and today the first throw went to Mims. It's a little low and behind him, and it's a weird play, but the ball ended up in the Chargers' hands.
When the ball, listen, that's on the receiver. When the ball is in or around your radius. And you got both. You can catch it with both hands. It's on you.
Yeah. I think where the Broncos draft will be interesting. And I think if there's a quarterback that Sean Payton likes that falls to them in the draft, that they'll draft a guy. But am I fine moving forward with Russ? Yeah. And this season, Russ hasn't been the problem. And this is a good example of a game I was talking about where I think Russ's box score is always a lie. So when Russ's box score looks great, you watch it and you go, he did a lot of things that in that game that kind of held the offense back. This game, until like maybe they got those garbage yards or whatever, his box score was not good at all. But like Russ is playing a pretty damn good football game today, aided by Courtland Sutton making a one-handed grab while being pass interfered with. And that's like, we want to see Jeudy make one of those insane catches like every other week, or just the easy ones for touchdowns.
Well, he had 2 easy catches.
Yeah, and he didn't have them
all he had to do was lay out. Like, he didn't have to lay out fully. He just had to reach for the ball on the sideline there on that one deep ball, right? And I know Russ could have delivered the ball a little sooner, but he got pressured a little bit, so he had to things change and things happen out there. But that was a play that I really would like to see him make. And he's got to make those plays. You're a first round pick, bro. You're in your 4th season.
Yeah.
You think you want to get paid or not, man? This is how you get paid, by making those plays.
We all want to see Jerry Jeudy be in a position where the Broncos have to pay him, and he just hasn't done that this year. And I think that one pass, the deep one too, I think Russ is also erring, whatever fucking one is correct.
You got it.
On the side of keeping the ball away from where the defender could possibly make a play. Now, Jeudy shook him. Jeudy got wide open there, and that's what Jeudy does well. And if Russ throws a perfect ball, it's a touchdown. But it's late, and I think he's throwing it closer to the sideline to make sure the safety or whatever has no chance to make a play there, and Jeudy just can't, come down with it.
It's about trust too. If you make the easy ones, I feel like Russ is going to throw them more contested passes.
Yeah. This is my guy Kevin. He's a big Brian. The only reason I knew who Brian Shaw was is because of Kevin. So he's been watching you wrestle Brian Shaw. How big is Shaw? Is he 6'7"?
So he's 6'8", 420 pounds. It's like wrestling. It's like wrestling a grizzly bear, honestly. He's just, but the thing about Brian is he is maybe one of the nicest people, nicest humans and most genuine people I've ever met in my life. He is such a nice guy that but it's if this guy decides that he wants to rip your arm off, dude, he picks me up, and it's not being picked up that is whoa. It's the way he lays you down. He doesn't he lays you down, how I would lay our kid down. I would lay my daughter down like that, and I'm like, dude, don't lay me down like that, please.
Please throw me into the ground.
Slam me.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Will, what was your takeaway from the game?
Just felt like a kind of a 2015 kind of performance for most of the game. Defense was just standing on their head. I love the creativity, getting McMillan kind of out of the slot and rushing the passer. And we talked about it before we went live, but that scoop and score at the end of the second half felt like it looked like a touchdown to me. I couldn't believe that got overturned.
Yeah.
But no, I think this was just a Vance Joseph masterclass, whether it was Herbert or Stick.
That's what I wanted to add, because you were there with Vance Joseph, and I think a lot of Broncos fans liked Vance Joseph. He wasn't a coach that rubbed people the wrong way, but then when you're not winning, everybody wants the coach fired or whatever. And I thought Vance Joseph to me seems like a guy who we saw with Hard Knocks, that seemed like a guy players like to be around, but I wasn't sold on him coming back as the defensive coordinator. And then the way the season started, I was like, holy shit, why did we bring back Vance Joseph? But now, the way that it's changed with the defense, with them being incredibly opportunistic, I think a lot of credit goes to Vance Joseph. When he was here, what was your take on him as the head coach, and what you're seeing now with him in the defense?
Yeah, well, it's totally different. Being a coordinator and being a head coach is totally different. He wasn't really allowed a lot of power as a head coach. Like, he didn't get to make a lot of the big decisions.
Oh, that's right.
So he was kind of held back in that way. And I think he was done an injustice there. Like, it wasn't right the way it went down. It was really, I don't know what was going on there. It was like, shit rolls downhill, man. When things are going
bad,
things are going wrong. Any business that
Yeah.
you run, if shit's going bad up top, it's going to roll downhill. And that's kind of what was going on in that situation. Really for, 7-8 years was going on like that. But what I think happened with I'm so happy for him, because I loved him as a person, and he was a great coach, and he was very, like, he's one of those coaches that you want to play for. Like, you want to go out there and play hard for him. It's not like, well, you're going out there and playing in spite of him. You're playing hard because you want to succeed with him, and he wants to see you succeed. I think that at the beginning of the season, he's got a group of guys it's a brand new group of guys. For him, it's a brand new defense. It's all this new. There's a lot of new going on, right? Coming off of one of the worst and most embarrassing seasons in Broncos history. It's like he was put in another situation where it was almost like, I was like, man, they're setting him up for failure again. It felt like, but
right.
The way that all he does is get those guys to play hard. He's got 2 middle linebackers right now that are playing as good as any in the league. Honestly, like Joseph Joel and Alex Singleton are playing just as good as anybody in the league.
Alex Singleton had a charity he started at the beginning of the season, and I signed up, and you donate per tackle. And I knew he had a lot of tackles, but I was like, I want to be giving. So I signed up to do $15 per tackle.
Oh, Jesus.
And every week he's got like 10 tackles, 11 tackles, 16 tackles. I just got like the bill today. I was like, oh man, I got to keep rooting for him. And I want to just go into a good cause. But like, Singleton had a great game. Josie Jewell was basically this close from getting a pick, and it was this close from having another like crazy pass defended. But also, like, just
Simmons, he almost had a scoop and score too.
Yeah, Simmons. They brought Simmons on a blitz that he got there. PJ Locke has his 3rd sack in the 3rd straight game from the safety position. They said that's never fucking happened ever, or since some time. I don't know, but that's impressive. They brought McMillan. Like, when you're playing defense, do you prefer like your coordinator to bring in all of those blitzes, or do you like playing more of like, let's just get there with our front and keep all the protection behind us?
Well, here's the thing though. If you watch the way that they've played, their front 4 aren't able to get there
right
on their own.
That was the first half of the season.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get there consistently, right? They're not winning the one-on-ones. They're not, that's the reality of this league. Sometimes those guys get paid too. So as a defense coordinator, it's your job to mix it up, and he's doing a great job of mixing it up. And so when I was with Wade, obviously we could do a lot of 4-man rushes, because look at the front 4 that we had.
Yeah.
And look at Shaq Barrett was a backup.
Yeah.
Right. So like, think about that. We had Antonio Smith was a backup. Like, we had an unbelievable pass rush with 4 guys. So we didn't have to bring extra guys. And then we had unbelievable linebackers. So it was silly to bring extra guys if we didn't have to, unless it was like a fire zone, which is still 4 guys and 1 guy's dropping. You're just bringing a guy out. But I love to see, when I went to Baltimore, we did a lot of that. Like, it was nonstop blitzing. And sometimes I was like, this is stupid, because we have guys that can win one-on-ones. Why are we wasting coverage guys and we're giving up the middle of the field? That's what happens. You give up the middle of the field sometimes when you do that, when you start blitzing a lot of guys. But
who was the DC there when you were in Baltimore?
Wink Martindale.
Okay. That's right. And he was in Was he in Denver with you too, or was that before you got there?
It was like 2010, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like if it's working, you're not going to complain about it, right? Like, there's Broncos 6 sacks today, 4 on Justine Herbert, 2 on Stick.
They had 4 in the first half.
Yeah, it was fun. It was like fun to watch the defense just kind of go crazy. They got a couple turnovers again. That's been I think a key to the Broncos like success.
What was silly? What were they doing with Austin Ekeler? Why are they creating this like random competition for him?
I don't
he's
know.
There, like because what happened at the end of the game when they decided to let him get in a groove? He started playing really good football.
Yeah,
because then they have to pay him.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, it's just so silly, man. That's why the Chargers will never be good, because they're run by a cheap family of the cheapest billionaires on the planet, probably.
Get
Besides
on our
Warren
level,
Buffett, who likes to eat McDonald's every day. But it's just like
Ray Jones.
It's like, come on, man, you got to spend money to make money, you know?
Yeah.
In this league, you got to spend money if you want your team to be good.
I honestly, when I heard that they were going to give more carries to Kelly and Spiller to like challenge Ekeler before the game, I was like, the Broncos' chances of winning just got better.
Why are we? They're playing for a playoff spot,
dude.
If you lose, you're out. What are you doing?
Eckler's not going to go back there, and if he is smart, he will come back to Colorado. He played college football in Western State.
Yep.
And he will come play for Sean Payton. And just keep Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson will get him a lot of throws in the passing game. And I feel like Eckler's the right guy to get the ball out, and he'll make something happen.
Yeah, but I don't think you need – I wouldn't even really want to bring him in here and spend that money. I'd rather spend that money somewhere else.
I'm not talking practically. I'm talking about vengeance on the Chargers and bringing Ekeler back home. But fair enough. Fair enough.
You see they had Phillip Rivers up there.
They did. I miss Rivers, honestly.
My blood just started boiling as soon as I saw him.
I was. As soon as I knew you were coming on today, and then I saw Rivers, I put it together. I was fortuitous. Let me ask you this, Derek, but maybe you wouldn't even talk shit to him, but how would you talk shit to a quarterback like Justine Herbert as opposed to Phillip Rivers?
Oh, I just make fun of his hair and his acne, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just go right.
He looks like he hasn't even hit puberty yet.
Boom. That gets in his head.
Get in his head. Or I'd just like do a little Googling, find out some family history, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like in the president of the fishing club in high school.
See, that's kind of cool.
He's got some nerdy pictures though.
What if you just say really nice things to him? Does that mess with the guy ever? Like you are a really great leader at the top of your fishing club, Justin.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw that 10-pound bass you caught, man. Beautiful fish.
Terrific stuff.
He'd be like, huh?
Now I'm going to take that fish and I'm going to beat you over your dumb face with it.
That's almost
just kidding. I really respect you, but I am going to kill you. I feel like that's how Andrew Luck probably would have talked trash.
Yeah.
Just nice like complimenting dudes. Did you ever sack Luck?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how he was. He was like, "Oh, good play," you know.
That's got to be worse almost.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you sack the quarterback, and then he gets up and tries to help you up.
Yeah.
That's how Andrew Luck was.
Baker Mayfield did that today. He dropped his shoulder and bulldozed his way into the end zone, scored, and then helped up the defender. I was like, man, that's classy right there. Like he destroyed the dude and then just picked him up.
I mean, did the guy reached his hand out and let him help him?
Yeah. As a defender, do you swipe that away?
Yeah.
That's you?
Yes. Don't touch me. Don't try to help me.
That's a 15-yarder.
Yeah. It was, I don't think it was it was probably like maybe a safety in there. I don't know who he hit, but.
It doesn't matter who it is. You can't just be getting helped up by the guy that just ran you over.
By the quarterback.
Yeah. I would let them help me up, honestly. I'd say carry me back to my defensive huddle too, sir.
Can you carry me back, sir?
Hold my hand.
Today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use our code Let's Ride when you sign up there. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did not hit my pick'ems. I'm keeping my streak alive.
I think that's safe to say.
Where are my results? Oh yeah, I didn't even come close. Let's see here. I took higher on Zach Wilson, nailed it. Higher on Russell Wilson, nailed it. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins got hurt. That got me. Deebo Samuel, higher. He had 30 fantasy points today. If you want to play fantasy, you want to get into pick'ems, use our code Let's Ride when you sign up at Underdog Fantasy. There should be a link in the description. And just be better than me. I've literally played, I'm 0-53 now, I think, in fantasy pickups. So
54th is the charm.
Yeah.
As they always say.
There you go. Say what? Yeah, we got a big guest today. Thank you for joining us, Derek. Tell people where to find. We're not leaving yet, but tell people where to find your podcast, because I just listened to your interview with Bill Kolar, former defensive line coach for the Broncos. And if you're a Broncos fan, I recommend going and listening to Wolf's interview with Bill immediately.
Yeah, it's
great.
So it's the Wolf Untamed podcast, and it's just find us on all platforms. YouTube,
Nice.
Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, all those. Go check it out. Bill's just an incredible guy, and there's a lot of other good interviews on there. If you check it out, if you're into like the UFC at all, I got Bo Nickel on there, who's a really good listen. He was a 3-time Division I national championship wrestler as well.
Oh, nice.
3-time state champ wrestler. He's won his first 2 fights easily. He's going to be a champ here soon. Mike Glover, who's an ex-Delta Force guy, special forces and stuff. Scott Parker, I got Scott Parker on there. If you guys are Avalanche fans, Scott Parker was a enforcer back in the day. Just an absolute awesome guy. Yeah, awesome guy. A couple really good ones. And then I'm Tuesday or Wednesday I'll be dropping my episode with Brian Shaw. Which is a really good one. Just hearing his story, it's crazy because you think like a 6'8" guy, why didn't he play football? And it's when you learn why, it's because they just weren't good at football in high school. He didn't want to play for some shitty football team. He was rather play for a good basketball team.
That's crazy. Yeah, I can't imagine being that big and strong and not playing football. I just can't imagine being that big and strong. Actually, I don't know what I would do. I think I would probably be an asshole if I was that big.
I'd be the world's greatest bouncer.
I'd be the biggest. I would not use my powers for good. Probably.
He'd be in jail.
Limited. Yeah. He'd be in jail. I'd be in prison.
Be a bully.
The Bill one was hilarious too, because there's a lot of like great insight about you guys playing and as a defense. 2 takeaways. One is you guys all agree DeMarcus Ware is just a perfect football player and a perfect person. It's like on the field, he's amazing. It's like, how does this guy even do some of this stuff? He's like locker room guy, nicest guy. Like he's actually too good at everything, was my take from DeMarcus Ware. And then Bill just talking shit to everybody. So
everyone. He
said when they drafted JJ Watt, like he talked to him on the phone, was like, yeah, we drafted you. He's like, you think you're pretty good at football? And JJ's like, yeah. He's like, you're not. You're not good.
He said, no, you suck. You're lazy.
Yeah, you're lazy. You leave plays on the field. And he kept going back how he used to just talk shit to JJ Watt all the time, which I find hilarious. But you said you like that. You like when a coach is calling out like the best players all the time. That way, if you are like fighting to make the team, you're like, oh, this is how everybody's treated. I got to pick up my game. And you referenced Shaq Barrett too, which is still one of like the players I hate that got away from Denver. And Bill said something about Shaq didn't get his playing time because they had to play Shane Ray because he was a first-round draft pick. And I was like, man, that's also such like a bad way to think about coaching your football team, right? Because you're not putting the team in the best position if you're not putting the best player out there. And Shane Ray had a nice season. 2015, everybody was doing their part, but like I think everybody was like, shit, this Shaq Barrett dude's really fucking good. And then
all he
left so he could play, and he killed it in Tampa Bay. Luckily, he got a huge contract there, but a lot of cool stuff in there was my point.
It's a good listen. Go check it out. Subscribe. Give me a little subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe on YouTube. Does the show do better on Spotify or YouTube at this point?
Right now, Spotify, just because I think people like to listen in their car, but. I also put all my hunting. If you guys, anybody's into hunting at all, I put all my hunting content on YouTube as well. So there's some cool stuff on there if you want to check that out. It's not like your typical boring hunting show. It's like we're actually having a good time and
it's great,
doing some fun stuff. And this next season is going to be cool. And then this following season, we got some really cool ideas. We're going to be doing some. You remember Pimp My Ride?
Oh yeah.
I get reached out to all the time. People are like, hey, come hunt with me here. Come hunt with me. Like, come to my hometown and hunt with me. So what I'm going to do is do like a giveaway, and I'm going to show up and pimp somebody's hunt. and we're gonna hunt like ducks or turkey or deer or whatever, and I'm gonna bring a bunch of gear and just give a huge giveaway. And
If
just
I
do
were a
something cool like
hunter,
that.
what I would want, if you were pimping my hunt, I would just want you to show up with all of the animals already dead, so I didn't have to go hunting.
Well, that takes the whole part of the
point.
hunt is the hunt.
Yeah.
It's not even, the kill is like secondary to the journey, man. Like honestly, like that's what it's about. Like,
No,
the
I
hunting
get
side.
that. One, I did like.
You
There
can just
seems
go
like
to
there's
a
a
high
lot of
fence.
waiting. There seems like there's so much waiting around with hunting.
It depends on what you're hunting. If you're hunting like whitetail, like out of a tree stand, yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of waiting, a lot of just sitting in a stand. But if you're hunting big game, you're hiking nonstop, like you're getting after it. So it's actually like it's not boring. It's hard, but it's not boring.
If your hunting show becomes really successful, like really big,
It will.
then for the finale of your show, we'll do the most dangerous game, and you guys can hunt me. You can hunt me, but only if it's
That's such a
one of
good
the
movie
biggest shows on
reference.
earth.
I don't think anybody's ever.
I'm
seen that.
elusive. I can outrun
What kind
you.
of waivers would we have to get?
Arrows? You only get arrows though.
Arrows.
And I get
Yeah,
night vision.
That's fine. I'm not going to hunt you at night. I'm just going to wait till it's light out.
And once I get back to my house, that's safe. Can't keep coming after me.
So where do you start? Where's the starting point? Downtown Denver?
No, come on. We'll go to nature. Make it safe.
I think it would be more fun, like out in the streets.
Yeah, in an urban
I've seen
environment.
those Bear Grylls survival episodes where it's like the urban survival. I don't like those ones. I want to skid down a hill and then hide in a cave, and then
Like First Blood?
yeah, I want to be shitty Rambo.
Will, how long do you think he'd last out there?
I'm giving it 2 to 3 hours. Depending on like how far away are you starting? Like
that's what I'm
few
saying.
miles?
Like, are we going to start like?
I don't know the rules
Are we
of most
starting in,
dangerous
like,
game. Let me
Evergreen
reread the
somewhere,
book,
Evergreen
and I'll
somewhere?
come up with parameters. But again, this show's got to be like one of the biggest shows on earth. So
60
I don't
minutes.
foresee that's happening.
Cool hour for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry,
I
I'm
missed
reading all
a
the
couple of
comments
those. I
here.
missed a couple of
Yeah.
those. Yeah, we talked.
They
Mahomes did
started flying
meltdown
in.
after the Bills beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, Mahomes lost it. I think trouble in paradise in Kansas City.
I really wish we were now playing the Chiefs at the end of the season, because that game possibly could determine who wins the AFC West
Okay, well, I think we might play the Chiefs again, Brandon.
in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I hope so.
That would be the most satisfying win
A
of the
playoff win.
last 8 years for sure.
Yeah.
A playoff win
Would-
against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which player on the Broncos do you find yourself like really enjoy watching his game out there right now?
Oh, Singletary.
Alex Singletary? Yes.
I mean, dude, he's just an animal. Absolute animal.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny. Like before the season started, like Will and I were kind of hyping up Alex Singleton last year. And then like I did this like tweet.
Oh,
where I
yeah.
just-
Top
it
100.
was the final top 10 from the NFL Network's top 100 players. And I just snuck Alex Singleton's name in there at 7 and just waited for people to like start noticing that like he wasn't voted as the 7th best player in the NFL. It was like an inside joke for anybody who listened to the podcast because we liked Singleton, and he's having a great year. And Singleton's got like a bunch of loyal fans too, because he was in Pittsburgh for a little while and he played in the Canadian Football League, right?
Yeah.
And
Canadian.
those dudes are
And he's a
all root
Montana
for him.
State Bobcat.
Yeah.
So
He's
like
a Canadian,
most of Montana are Broncos fans.
Yeah, we got a lot of
Right.
Broncos fans there.
Some of them are Seattle, but like most of them are Broncos fans. You know who else? If I love watching Trench play, and
Sure.
there's very few offensive linemen that I enjoy watching play. I love watching Jason Kelsey play because he's so athletic from that center position. But Quinn Miners is fun to watch play.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
mauls people. He is a absolute mauler, and I think he'll be a Pro Bowler this year.
Did you guys see he went to the hospital during the game?
Is that they?
For an
Oh, you
irregular
say left
heartbeat.
with an illness, right?
Yeah, it said illness, and then someone, I think it was like Troy Rank or someone like that, said he went to the hospital for an irregular heartbeat and then got
Oh,
cleared.
that's not good.
Yeah. So
Got to get that cholesterol under control.
yeah, maybe. God. Yeah, that was scary,
Yeah.
but hopefully he's all
Yeah,
right.
that's scary, man. I hope he's all right because I love watching him play, man. He mauls people.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, they need
So much
him.
fun.
Weinberg
like-
did a decent job of stepping in, though.
He was good.
Weinberg.
I mean, you didn't really notice anything too much different, which is a good sign.
Yeah, he wasn't getting pressured like crazy.
That's usually what you want. You don't want to notice your offensive line unless it's like Quinn Miners and you just see him like mauling a dude or pancaking somebody in a lead block there. For me, it's still Jaquan McMillan. Like,
he's a dog.
Youngstown State.
Yeah. After that Dolphins game, I was like, man, outside of Surtain, there's just so many issues in the secondary.
Or not Youngstown State. Sorry, that's the running back. That's sorry, what's the running back's name?
Jaleel
McLaughlin. Yeah,
yes, McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Too many mix.
McMillan, McLaughlin. That's not about Irish people, okay, guys?
No, that was not.
But McMillan, like,
watch it, Brandon.
McMillan. I'm not scared of offending the Irish or the Italians.
We don't get offended.
Because I'm mostly Italian. I'm pretty sure I've got some Irish in there. But
safe.
McMillan's been great. And like he takes over for Isang Bassi. And I didn't even realize Bassi plays for the Chargers now. So what McMillan's done, I think, has also helped the defense quite a bit. And even Simmons still good. It's like every game he's making a play where you don't even see him. And then all of a sudden he's in frame and he's running like 20 yards from the back end of the field, making a play. So it's just defense is fun. If the offense could ever just put together a complete game, which we haven't really seen, I feel like the team is really, really good. But it's mostly they're going to be good. They're going to be good. They're going to hang in a lot of games. We saw it last week, even with the Texans. They just dominated the Chargers. This was like their most.
Well, that Texans game, that they beat themselves in that Texans game.
Yeah.
Turnovers. Too many turnovers.
But,
too many turnovers. But I wanted to talk more about the offensive line. I mean, this is the best offensive line we've seen in how many years? Like they've actually, Bolsey even said it. He's like, this is the closest group he's ever been a part of. And you could tell this guy, and I think they have a real leader on that offensive line now, finally. So that's what I like to see.
You got to give credit to Zach Strief too, as a first year offensive line coach.
Yeah,
that was a big switch.
Health's been a big part of that too, because I think at the end of the game they said the Broncos have had the same starting 5 on the offensive line every game this season. And so there's only 4 teams can say that this year. So they've been healthy. Obviously, Quinn leaves this game, so hopefully he's all right. And I didn't know this. McGlinchey's Matt Ryan's cousin. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They said that. Yeah, they said it on the broadcast. And I was like,
they're both Boston College guys, I think.
And my one knock on McGlinchey, just because I'd played against him a bunch, did those joint practices against them a bunch, is that he wasn't very stout in the run game, and he's like he's turned that all the way around.
Yeah, I feel like he's been better in the run than in pass pro this year.
Yeah.
You could tell Matt Ryan was trying to be fair too. He's like, they said he's his cousin. He's like, and great guy, been a great player, had some up and downs this year, but for the most part, very solid tackle.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
Just for him to be totally nice. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you either have to go with kid gloves or just be a complete dick to your own cousin on national TV.
It depends on how close you are with your cousin too, right? If it's a close cousin, we're cousins, but let me tell you something. He's not really that good at football. In fact, we don't even like to let him hang out with us at Christmas.
Yeah,
we don't even invite him to the holidays. He's an awful human.
Drinks too much around the family.
He's an awful drunk.
Bed early. Yeah.
Not a great dad.
It's terrible with his money. Oh my God. You should see his tax returns. He's got to get an accountant.
Lies to the IRS every year.
He has impure thoughts in church, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
It's everything. Okay. That's all I had. This game, I was prepared for it to be 10-0, and then Courtland Sutton got us. Defense opportunistic. Turned out to be a dominant game. Do you guys have anything else before we leave? Anything important?
So that wing T play action to Adam Troutman in the end zone was probably the best design play I've seen all year.
Brilliant.
That was beautiful.
Brilliant play.
I almost wish they saved it for like a closer game. It was that nice. But
it's all right. It's all right because now it gives every defense one more thing they have to think about. Like they're like, oh, in the red zone, we have to watch out for this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a chess game, you know? Like you gotta think. And Sean Payton's such a football genius. He is a football genius. Like he really is. So I guarantee that's what he was thinking. Like, you know, hey, let me show this because you could tell that they had just come up with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let me show this so that it gives other teams something to have to worry about.
Right.
You know, and that spreads them out a little.
And that's where really good coaches, then they add like a wrinkle to that play, right? They're like, we've done this. They're going to think about it. And then we can also do this. But what I loved about that is they sell the run to the right, and the Chargers bit hard on the play action. And Russ boots out. And then he's got the clear route to run for the fourth. Or to convert the fourth. I was like, oh, he's just going to run. And then he threw it, and I was like, oh, God. And then there was nobody on Troutman. Troutman just flipped out, and he's just wide open in the end zone. And it was kind of what we criticized Russ for last week, where we thought he had Jeudy open. He runs and converts the third and short. And we're like, if he hits Jeudy, there's probably a touchdown. So I don't know if they had the sell on the play action there or the same alignment. But, yeah, that play was a cherry on top.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, brilliant football play.
All right. Troutman broke a tackle on third down too in that drive earlier.
And Kroll had a catch. Kroll had a catch too.
Yeah, Kroll show.
That's a big tight end day.
Huge.
We've not had many this year because Dulcich's been hurt. But anyway,
is this guy ever going to get healthy?
I hope so.
He has to fix the way he's walking. Apparently, is what they said.
That's what this doctor says over here.
Yeah. No, not me. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Fix the way he's walking. All right, whatever.
The way he runs or whatever.
They said
straining
his run
hamstrings. We don't know.
Oh, is he pointing his feet outwards?
I think so. Yeah. I guess.
Duck walking.
That might be it. It doesn't bode well, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Not good for the hammy.
No.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
We need Dulcich healthy. That could be a little boost if he comes healthy down the stretch here. I don't know when he can return.
I mean, he gave him a boost last year when he came back. So
yeah. Russ liked him. Russ got him the ball. All right, make sure you guys follow Derek Wolfe, your YouTube channel, Spotify. I will put that link in the description. What's the name of it again, so they know exactly what to put into Google?
Wolf Untamed.
Boom. You can follow Will too, if you want.
If you want. You don't have to. Wolf Untamed first.
Ooh, what would a Will Untamed look like?
That sounds like an OnlyFans.
Kind of looks like. Yeah. Subscribe to that. I'll put the promo code in the description.
Boom. Free feet picks if you use the
socks
promo
are coming
code.
off.
Yeah.
Socks come off one toe at a time. You're ready.